Oh look, it's everyone's favorite EcoBoost Mustang, Buster! And everyone's favorite EcoBoost idiot, Kirk. I really see no fallacies with either of those statements. Yeah. Anyways, small little update video here. Some exciting turn of events that I'm sure people who follow this car and follow me because of this car will be very, very excited to hear now that I've finally come to terms with it. And I'm sure you know exactly what that was because you read the title and you clicked the video. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in the video, but first I want to talk about the recent video I uploaded. As you can see, me and my shenanigans, I love to do things that make people really question my sanity. And well, it's not there. So but anyway, the whole gallon of Lucas in the tank, yeah. You know, the really good thing about that video is it actually did much, much better than I was really expecting, because generally what seems to happen is the videos that I plan to do well flunk, and then videos that I have like put no effort in and or I just do like hot takes or something end up getting all the views. So I'm actually glad it did well. And as of recording this video, which is only a couple days after, you can see that where are we at? I got 4,600 views. Click-through rate's good. Like, these are really good stats. Like, this video did really good. I'm still waiting to see how good it did revenue-wise, because I definitely could use that. But, you know, these are good things. These are the numbers I wish all my videos did, but I'm still thankful that this one did well. Gained me some new subscribers, that's always good. Like, overall, just exceeded my expectations. And I thought it was a fun video. I had fun making it. Even though there was always that, what if I really did screw something up in the back of my head, but just so you know. No, it didn't hurt the car. Yes, it fouled out the spark plugs, but they still work. I'm letting some fresh gas cycle through, and I'm probably going to take those out. The plugs that I'm going to replace those with are the NGK ruthenium plugs. Like, they're kind of like the hot thing right now, and they do have a very interesting design. So I'm curious if that small little change in their design actually makes a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, order a set and see if there is a difference. I'm going to compare those plugs very best I can to the OEM Motorcraft plugs and the Excel plugs that are in there. It's going to be tough because it's not a super fair chance, like fresh plugs versus older used plugs. I think I can get one more good run out of these Excel plugs. If I just clean them up, make sure they're gapped right, I think I can get a good enough run out of them to compare the data. I mean, I could compare the data I had before when I compared those to the Motorcraft. The problem is the car has an intercooler on it now, so any runs I make now, the difference could also be attributed because of the intercooler. I'll have to wait and see how I go about that, but either way, I still want to test out the rutheniums. If they don't work, I can always go to just some NGK coppers or just some NGK iridiums, but I want to give them a try, see what happens. So there's always going to be that video to look out for. Now, with that said, the biggest news of this whole video is I'm finally announcing that I've come to the realization that if I want to reach the goals that I have planned for this car, which is a reliable 11-second daily, I have no choice but to flash tune the car. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, well, we could have told you that. Yeah, well, here's why I was so hesitant. First of all, obviously, there's the main obvious reasons why anyone would be hesitant to flash tune their car. Warranty purposes. I've put a lot of hard miles on the car as it is, so at this point, I do feel pretty comfortable about its robustness and its ability to take a beating. You know, which is usually something EcoBoost engines sometimes don't put up with, but I think this is a nice package right here, and it's been doing pretty good. So, you know, almost 50,000 miles. I'm approaching the 60,000 mile powertrain limit, even though I have an extended Ford warranty on the whole car. You know, what comes with the car is soon to be up. And I have to think, when I had the SHO and I took it in for problems, when the transmission was having problems and I had the PTU replaced and all the other weird things going on with it, you know, I had a third-party warranty with that vehicle. I took it to the dealership I bought it from, which was a Ford dealership. Even though the process I wasn't completely happy with, in terms of the warranty work being approved, everything was fine. Like, the car was tuned, it was noticeably modified, and they didn't have a problem. You know, and at the time, the service writer pretty much said that you won't have a warranty denied because of the tune. Even though the tune affected the way the transmission worked and everything and whatnot, it didn't affect my eligibility to receive the warranty. And he made a statement. He said, if this was a Ford warranty, we wouldn't even have to question half of what we question. And I'm thinking to myself, really? And I think he's more or less talking about a Ford extended warranty. I mean, that's money that I'm paying extra for anyway. You know, I can see like the first 60,000 miles something happening, but like that's money that I'm paying out of my pocket to cover it for an extended period of time. So maybe during that period, you know, warranty repairs are more forgiving on modified vehicles, at least the decisions to approve it or not. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. I realized that the Boost Max is only doing so much, and I'm not going to really be able to get more out of a JB4. And this is the reason why. Last I talked to Chris Johnson of JMS. Remember, Chris Johnson is the founder of JMS and all the other companies he has. And he's also the founder of SCT, and he was, you know, pretty much one of the pioneers of early days of flash tuning on the Fox body cars and whatnot. So, you know, he's pretty much responsible for how we tune cars today. There's a lot of good questions that I feel like I could ask him about these different ways of extracting power out of these cars. You know, I called over there one day because I had some questions about the Boost Max, especially once I received the new Boost Max. I wanted to make sure things were working fine. And I noticed some differences that I didn't notice before that, you know, created questions. Well, when you order these things, they tell you, you know, it can go up to, keywords, up to 5 psi. Like, I was supposed to order this race version that gives you 5 psi more on EcoBoost cars. I asked him, I said, I don't see 5 psi, you know, because I expressed my concerns that when I'm taking my data logs, you know, the boost hits its max and then it just flatlines. And he told me, he said, exactly. He said, because we're not adjusting that parameter, the car doesn't know it's making more boost than it really is. He said, so as far as the car knows, it's only making that 22.47 psi. And he said, you know, you'd have to look at your gauge or some other external source of checking manifold pressure. I said, okay. I said, well, that makes sense. And I said, well, either way, I don't think I still see 5 psi. And he's told me, he said, on the newer cars, I think it's either 18 and up or 19 and up, EcoBoost cars, unfortunately, they had to limit the max amount that the Boost Max changes to about 2 to 3 psi, because Ford programmed these like boost limits. They refer to as checksums, which basically means the car is always kind of scanning for overboost conditions. So you can't fool it that much. So if you get over a certain amount, the car is going to throw, you know, an overboost code, and that's it. He said that was what was happening, so they had to pull it down. So unfortunately, I'm not even getting the full benefit of the Boost Max on my car. If this was an older car, I could get the full 4 to 5 psi, but I'm only getting about 2 or 3, so that definitely limits things. And because of that, because of these, you know, checksums, these boost limits that Ford put in these cars, I had to question, well, I don't think the JB4 is immune to these things. Because I even asked Chris, I said, do you think they would be affected by it? He said, I don't know. I don't know the product, and I don't know if there's a way that they can bypass or defeat that, that feature without going in and adjusting that target via flash tuning. He said, I doubt it, but once again, I'm not sure. So, you know, I at least appreciate his honesty about it. Now, the only difference is, while the JB4 can only add about the same amount of boost as the Boost Max, you know, 2 to 3 psi, the only thing it can do more than a Boost Max is adjust timing. So, you know, you can squeak out a little bit more power because of timing adjustments, but, you know, it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough to justify spending the money for a JB4. Because for the JB4, like just the unit itself, it's like around $500, and then you have these options to be able to link it to your phone and whatnot. So basically, to make it something halfway nice, it ends up being about $700 for a tuning solution that unfortunately can only do so much with this car. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to be able to get the power I need to get the times I want out of this car with the same amount of boost and maybe a little bit more timing. I'm like, it's just not going to happen. So I've come to the realization that yes, now I need to flash tune the car. Like I said, I think I feel comfortable now. I'm going to go ahead and probably go with a Cobb access port. When the time is right, I'm gonna see if I can pick one up secondhand, because generally you can, save 50% right there. And I'm gonna go with Ryan at PD Tuning. Everyone uses them. I think he can get me to where I need to be in my goals with this car. The nice thing I like about PD Tuning is they have like an a la carte tuning options. So you can go with their standard tune, and on this premium pump gas, it's 300. But this is more or less what I like, the lifetime tune, which basically is free revisions. As long as nothing major has changed, i.e. turbo or fueling or whatever. But, any other small changes, free revisions. And I would like to add E85. So for like an E30 mix, it does bump it up to 550. And then furthermore, you can go ahead, where is it? They have a burble tune add-on, which I'm not really interested in. Because that doesn't make a difference to me. But this is what I'm interested in. Transmission calibration for another 150. So full total comes up to 700. And then we have about another 300 with the access port, so about $1,000 to get this car flash tunable. But that's adjusting everything I'm gonna need to adjust to make this thing actually work and work well. And really it's only less than $300 more than what the JB4 was gonna cost. So when I factored it all together, it just made a lot more sense, especially for the long-term ownership of this car. I definitely plan to keep it for a while. Kind of stuck with it anyway, so until my financial status gets better. But I have no reason to get rid of it. I love the car. It's a great car, and just having a nice, reliable, comfortable, fuel efficient 11-second car would be awesome. That's plenty fast for a street car, and I think 11 seconds is definitely very easily doable reliably without worrying about completely blowing everything up. I know the transmission will handle things well. The engine should definitely handle enough power to make 11 seconds reliably. Trust me, there are definitely plans to enhance other parts of the car to make it faster without adding power, but they're much more expensive things that are way down the road planned. In terms of adding engine power, these are my quick plans, and I'm gonna try to get it as soon as possible. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take me to get up an extra $1,000. It's gonna be a minute. At least you have that to look forward to see what this car is really capable of. But meanwhile, I'm still gonna do what I can to squeak as much out of this car as I can with the Boost Max, and have as much fun with it as I can. Probably by the time I get the money together, we will be past that 60,000 powertrain marker, and we'll be ready to tune Buster, and hopefully we'll get some good power out of it. I think we can do it. I think this is a very good package, and I know we ain't gonna have problems making power. So I think that's gonna be enough of me yapping for this video. Like I said, it was just basic stuff. But I wanted to go ahead and thoroughly explain my plans with all of this. And, it is big news because I've been so hesitant to flash tune the car. Due to past experiences, I didn't really want to have to go down that road again, but I don't think I have many options left. What can you do? If you can't beat them, join them, right? Anyways, I think that's gonna wrap it up here for this video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with everyone you know. If you want to see more content like this and you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, keep a lookout for the next Karz Kreated video.